Hello everybody, Dawn Marie here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing the other half, the second half of my monthly hero from Hero Arts for September. So I did, like I said, I think I said in my first video, I did a total of 25 cards. But I have 11 different designs. So here we go. Card 6. I took the branch with the maple leaves on it and I stamped it across the top. I kind of lost a little footage here so you didn't see me stamping it, but stamped it across the top and colored it in with my Copic markers. And then I took Happy Autumn and I heat embossed it with I think it's chocolate brown from Nuvo embossing powder. And then I took I had colored in some maple leaves, and prior to this, you know, I had colored a bunch of images on when I did my first set of cards, and I took a bunch of them and I trickled them down coming off of the branches as if they were falling off the trees, and I popped them up with some foam tape. And pretty much that's what I'm doing here, just figuring it out. And then I'm going to put some sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, sparkling clear sequins, and that pretty much is my card. I put a little Nuvo crystal Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen on it as well. Okay, so now card 7, I am going to take the maple leaf and stamp it all across my panel, all over, turning my leaf all around different ways. So I'll show you that a little bit, and then I'm going to go into some coloring, which I'm not going to show much of. Just a couple leaves, because these videos have been long as it is, so I didn't leave a lot of coloring in. But yeah, so I'm using some fall colors, so I'm using oranges and reds and browns to color my leaves, but I'm going to color that panel and it takes quite some time. And I'm showing you my progress, and there it is. So now I'm going to mat the back of it. Oh, actually I'm going to put some foam behind it and pop it up. Actually, I'm not matting it. I'm just putting on the on a black card base, top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card base made out of Simon Says stamp. No, I apologize. My favorite things, black licorice cardstock, and I use the same cardstock for my sentiment, which I heat embossed with some Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder. You bring color to my world. So I'm just making it, make sure it's nice and straight, but I put that in the middle of my card, and that's going to be this card. Oh, actually I take a couple more of the leaves and I find a couple of spots and I pop them up on the card. I forgot I did that. I don't think I used any more embellishments though after this. Can you tell I'm watching this blind? I watched this, like, I don't know, a week ago when I had edited originally, and now I'm doing the voiceover, and so yeah, it's not quite fresh in my mind, but I figured I'd watch it as I did the voiceover instead of watching it first then doing the voiceover, because you know, time is precious. So I hope you're all having a good day. It's sunny here, and windy as oh, it's so windy, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I need to find myself some time to go outside. Oh yeah, I did use some Aqua Shimmer pen, but I think that's all. I didn't use any embellishments. No sequins, no drops, nothing like that. And there's my card. Okay, so for card number 8, I'm using my watercolors, and I am going to take, and here we go. I'm taking a bunch of them and just swirling them around on some Arches cold press watercolor paper. Actually, I think I used some Canson's cold press watercolor paper in this. But I'm using different fall colors, and I'm just doing it all messy like with my water brush. I probably should have just, you know, wet the whole panel, then did some wet and wet, but this worked out alright. I was too lazy to go get a jug of water. I just figured I'd use my water brush. I'm at the 8th card of this kit now, and I'm like, oh, what else can I do with this kit? I struggled with this kit. Like I said, I had a lot of ideas, but then when I went to execute them, some of them I didn't like them. And then I also saw that people had done the same idea, and I didn't want to do the same thing, so I just changed my mind and tried to do something else. Now this card, once I finished it, I thought it was okay, and then when I saw other people do this, I was like, oh, why didn't I do it that way? So, you know, hindsight and all that. So I took that fancy die and I cut it out of this panel. I'm going to go ahead and poke out the little holes there. I made this so much more complicated than it needed to be. Then I took, I did two cards. I did a black one and I did a white one. Then I took the oval die. See, you'll see the black one. See, I taped it in, which I made it, like I said, complicated. I didn't need to make it that way. I'm putting some acetate in it, and then I'm going to heat emboss a sentiment on the panel that I glue to this panel. There you go. You bring color to my world. And I did a black and a white one. So, yeah, that was that card. Now, card number 9. I really don't care for this card, but I wanted to use these Chinese lanterns. I hadn't used them yet. I figured let's try something with these. And I hadn't used this branch yet either. So I had already had the pot and the branch already, because I had, like I said, stamped a bunch of images and colored them up. But the Chinese lanterns, I used some of my favorite things ink in Coral Crush and stamped them out because I wanted them peachy colored. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some foam tape and I'm going to prop them up over top of the branch, so as if they were coming off the branch. Yeah, so I forgot to take my autofocus off on my when I filmed this session, and of course you're going to see it come in and out a little bit, but it's not too bad. So then I'm going to go ahead and put the last one there. This is not too bad, this card. I was running out of ideas. The well was dry. And it's funny because I ended up doing 11 cards. After I got done with all my cards, I counted them. I'm like, I got 11 cards here, not 10. So you get a bonus card. So now I'm deciding which color I want to use, and I ended up going with the black. And I put it on a persimmon cardstock from My Favorite Things card base. It's top folding, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, obviously. I used the stitch rectangle die to cut this panel out from My Favorite Things as well, an A2 stitch rectangle die. So I started putting the vase that was like inside of it a little bit, underneath of it, and then I pulled it up a little bit more. Pulled the sentiment down a little bit. It was too far in. I'm using some Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen on the Chinese lanterns, and then I'll go ahead and use some eggshell pearls from Lucy's Little Things, from Lucy's Cards. Little Things from Lucy's Cards, that's what they're called. And that finishes number 9. Now for card number 10. I actually like this card, and at this point I was like, okay, I need to use this branch. I try to use everything in this kit. Oh, and I stamped out, oh no, this is a different one. Okay, I stamped out some more of those Chinese lantern plants, and I decided, I had looked them up, and they come in orange colors, like peachy orange, and they come in like a pinky red color. So I thought I would do that shade. So I'm using my reds from my Copic reds. I'm using R85, R83. I'm also using some RVs. I'm using RV95 and RV34. I started to link all the Copics, but it wouldn't let me put the links through for the video, all those links for the Copics, because there was a lot of Copics in these videos. So what I did was I put a link for Scrapbook Pal, which is where the best place I found to get Copics. They're only like $5.24 for a Copic for the sketch, and I think they're $4.77 for the chows. And the refills are only $4.77 too, I think, something, maybe less. But yeah, they're very reasonable. I think they're the most reasonable I've come across anyway. You guys might know some other place, but so I'm showing a little bit of coloring here, so you get a little bit of the coloring. I'm using a G94 and a YG07 to color my leaves. Yeah, so it's a gorgeous day here, but it's very windy. I don't know what's the deal with the wind, but you know, it's that time of year. I love blustery days. I just absolutely love them when the curtains are straight out from the wind blowing them in. I love them, but my dogs don't. They freak out when they hear wind and rain and all that because they associate it with thunderstorms, and they absolutely hate thunderstorms, but I think most dogs do anyway. But my dogs, especially my little one, they both hate it. They both hide and all that. But my other one, I have one, the male dog, he's very neurotic. He is extremely nervous dog over everything. Every sound freaks him out. So thunderstorms make him catatonic. He sits there shaking so bad it looks like he's having an epileptic fit. That's how bad it is. And he's that way for hours, even after the storm's over with. And he keeps looking out the window waiting for the next crash. You know, it's like, it's terrible. And I've tried everything short of giving him like a tranquilizer or you know, some kind of benzodiazepam for it, you know, which that'll be the next thing because he gets so bad. I'm so afraid he's going to have a heart attack. And good thing he's young, but you know. Anyway, I digress. Talking about my dogs. I could talk about my dogs for hours because I love them. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a oval out of a panel. I had cut it with a stitch rectangle die to start with. I'm putting it on top of a slate gray from Simon Says Stamp card base, which is also 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding. And I heat embossed Best Wishes with some Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder in the middle. So now I'm taking these flowers and I'm going to circle them around the oval. So I think I used 3 or 4 of them to go around, gluing them. And I used 2 of the small ones in the middle pot. But yeah, I'll go ahead and glue them down. I'm not going to show all the gluing. Okay, so, and then I tuck a branch here, and I tuck a branch there. Here a tuck, there a tuck, everywhere a tuck, tuck. Yeah, I know. Crazy. I'm crazy today. I have so much I want to do, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this voice over. Because today is the day I'm putting this video up, and I still hadn't done my voiceover for a whole week because I had another video in the meantime, which you guys must have seen by now, with the collaboration video. So, okay, so now this card is that part of it's done. I'm using some Pretty Pink Posh droplets, and I'm just scattering them all around different places, and that's it. Here's a close-up of this card. And now here's the bonus card. And I didn't even realize I was doing a bonus card. I thought this was card 10. I had lost count. So I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this branch. And it looks kind of rustic to me, so let's put a little burlap behind it, you know? So I cut out pieces of burlap, and I pulled the strings on each side so it would be like a little frayed look. And I glued the, actually, I glued them down to a Nina Desert Storm panel, which was top folding, but in landscape. 4 1/4, 5 1/2. I took the branches and I put tiny pieces of foam tape on each one and popped it up over top of the burlap. Now I'm taking my Happy Autumn, which I had cut in half to put on a couple of different cards. I'm putting it together again, and I'm stamping it on some brown cardstock I had in my stash. I really honestly don't. I think it's from Michael's. I think it's Recollections paper, to be honest. And I'm using my Alabaster and heat embossing powder again. Now I use some twine to put underneath, and I crisscrossed it, as you see, underneath my panel. Actually, I said that was a top folding. There will be a base. This is a panel that I also cut out with a rectangle die. My favorite thing's A2 rectangle die. And I'm popping my sentiment up now over the crisscross. And then I put it over top of I glue that on top of my base. And then I put some sparkling clear sequins on it. And that finishes the card up. So here's a close-up. So that's it for my 10 cards, 1 kit. I hope you enjoyed these cards. I hope they gave you some inspiration. The supplies I've used have been listed in the description below and also on my blog. Leave me a comment with any questions or suggestions, or just say hello. I'd love to hear from you. I'll be back with a new video sometime this week. I hope you enjoyed today's card using this kit. And if you did, why not go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And also, you could subscribe if you're not already. I would love to have your support. I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye now.